when you hear the phrase, highly sensitive, you probably think of a child that probably flinches, when you flex. But parents, of highly sensitive kids know that there's, more than big feelings to it. So they don't necessarily have, sensory processing disorder. However, the scientific term is slow tolerance for distress, actually. It's not actually even a dysfunction of the senses. And there's even signs, whether or not you have a highly sensitive child. We're also going to nickname HSP, so I can keep the video short because I know I want to keep your attention spans. So, empathy to spare, I would definitely start with. HSP kids are not only emotionally reactive, but extremely empathetic. Seeing people they love get upset can often trigger them to get upset too. Clothes are literally a pain. It's not about preferring the Batman shirt to the frozen tea. Seams and socks and itchy tags can be impossible, for highly sensitive kids to handle due to their, overload of sensory processing sensitivities. Some parents, for example, may even special order, like seamless socks or shirts to cut down on the daily, getting dressed battles. They process deeply, too. This can be seen in a kid's probing, thoughtful questions, their precocious use of big words after only hearing them a few times, or difficulty making decisions as well, because they're thinking of, so many possibilities. Common discipline methods actually don't even work for them. And isolating a timeout or a stern raised voice doesn't work, thinking about because of their superpowered, perception and processing. HSPs need, a gentler approach. They will internalize everything and say that you say, amplifies 10 times louder and 10 times, more of a threat they'll feel. So speaking calmly and matter-of-factly when disciplining and ignoring, minor infractions will go a long way. Sleep after an epic day is no easy feat. Sleep provides, important downtime, as you know, for sensitive kids. Though, their active minds, heightened awareness, they're twice as difficult, to get down. Thinking about a, day at Disneyland, but getting them to sleep soundly is about consistency. Every child truly is different. By the time I got to Whittle, it was giving her, allowing her to take the tablet to bed, but usually we would agree what it was she was putting on, or what she is putting on, whether it be, the ocean waves or, the goodnight song we picked. Like it would give her, a couple different lullabies and things, and it worked because, they think they're winning when really, I'd catch her, asleep with the tablet, falling out of her hand. So, it's, you pick your battles, right? You figure out what's a challenge and what's a triumph, but drifting off after a day, is not so impossible. And then a series of calming activities also is a good way, to reduce the intensity of stimuli and help an hypersensitive kid, to wind down. New activities, they're best with a gradual introduction. Hypersensitive kids can be hesitant with new people or like experiences, and do best with big changes if they're introduced gradually. Visiting the new classroom teacher, or coach before they start the new activity, or, teammates, if possible, prepares them by introducing them to what's, to come, and The preparation has the added bonus of keeping all involved calm too, right? So it includes always the parents. Their senses seem super powered. They can hear airplanes and before anyone else, smell the slightest, odor that's nearly, you know, imperceptible to others. They're also quick to notice subtle changes in appearance of people or places, like a piece of furniture, that's been moved, or um, it's loud sounds can overwhelm them too. No matter what their temperament, it can take a lot less than a loud siren wail, to make someone that's hypersensitive cover their ears, but especially even more, for a child. So common kid examples are like public washrooms, those hand dryers, or the sound of like a cardboard box cereal being opened, or react when someone's like squeaky bike is, riding by. Wet or sandy clothes too are a no-go. A spare outfit is a must. Pack for your family. It doesn't last long on their bodies. They're aware of the subtle, and it stimulates them. And so even the feeling of sand between their toes, parents being highly sensitive themselves, if they are, who wish their kids to be more flexible or adaptable. It's important to be tolerant of your child's sensitivities, regardless of yours. Try not to take their reactions and behaviors personally, and focus on helping through, intense moments by reducing the amount of stimulation, by providing a stable, safe base for them to explore the world at their own speed, giving them roots and wings. You can set them up for future success. How could we need more right now? These kind of people. We think carefully, feel deeply, notice the subtle details, end up having, the big picture. Without meaning to, parents have a way, unfortunately, of sometimes we jump in and we're not always prepared. So it's great that even if it's, first child or fifth child, to make adjustments as we learn. We all learn and grow, right? So parents can have a way of making children feel as if something is wrong with them if they don't open up to new ideas and possibilities. Researchers actually have seen this happen often, where parents will, see sensitivity as a bad trait. That is, it makes us look overwhelmed, or they think it's passive, or they're even overworked and discouraged, even with phrases like, stop crying or shake it off. But psychologists, I know, there's one on PBS, I can't remember his name, have found that something about the environment, kids' highly sensitive brains have rare advantages. Not only do HSPs show more creativity and awareness and openness themselves, and being sensitive, but the process, their traits are even unappreciated because, they're silenced and they're quiet already, and then they're told, to calm down and be quiet too. So, this indicates, that sensitive people frequently have to be the ones who self-report. They could not watch a stranger in pain, or, feeling a strong desire to help, and couldn't. And since sensitive kids are more affected by their experiences than their peers, they get more needy, so more support, more training, more encouragement. This boost makes them, high achievers, though. If they get where they're at with the subtle details, we're all there, and we're the teachers, the coaches, we're paying attention, and we're all involved in the details. It's everyone's moods also affects each other, right? So they are easily absorbing emotions from others, right? So if we're all more accepting, that helps too. sometimes, when we have a hard time, shaking intense emotions like anger or worry, or complaining, it's more of understanding, is it the label? Is it the bed sheets? Is it the wristbands? Is it, something that's occupying their mind that can be fixable so that they can pay attention maybe to the more important, task at hand. They feel stressed and fatigued in loud, busy environments like gyms, or, perfume counters because of the strong odors. They hate the feeling of rushed and prefer to do things more carefully. Malls can be overwhelming. They respond better to gentle correction rather than to harsh discipline. They make insightful comments and seem wise by their age. They have a clever sense of humor. They read people well and can, it's almost like supervising inaccuracies, that they're big on what they're feeling and thinking, but even of others too, and at a young age. They refuse to eat certain foods because of the smells or the textures sometimes. They startle easily and at sudden noises, like when someone, speaks up or sneaks up on them, excuse me, you know, you resonate with, or, someone, maybe one child you're more able to do that with than another. Remember that it's a positive thing, though, to just adjust that, each child's different, so you can have one way you do one thing for one and one for another. So, but it's an entirely different approach, to their environment, basically, and that is, a strength. All you have to do is put the plan together. So how can parents, with these sensitive kids thrive is putting together like an action plan. But it's so easy where you just kind of go, let's set some expectations ahead of time, let's practice some gentle discipline. Let's bring their emotional coach, an advocate for them. Get curious about their world. Ask them questions. They'll actually, answer them for you. And then there's ways to support and nurture your highly sensitive child as well. You can educate them on their own temperament. Seek out support for yourself. Find yourself, when you're overly attuned to your emotional needs, that you might want to get your needs met, and protect them, so that way you can be able to protect your child. It's discussing the temperament. It's even a superpower, understanding your strengths and understanding their strengths too, right? So, and then I just wanted to finish with build them up. You might have heard from like family and friends, the whole tough them up. This is, in fact, though, doesn't work. Being overly hard on a highly sensitive child actually creates the opposite effect. It tears them down, leads them, second guessing their decisions. It's important to create, a supportive network, involve them in meaningful activities, tap into their creativity side, typically what interests them, find out. Be collaborative. Engage your child's, teachers, coaches, babysitters, and family members in understanding, your child's temperament. A child's going to get so much more from their parent, obviously, with the gentleness, and it's not saying that later, things can't be different. But it's understanding that, it's a problem-solving approach, and it's best for the child. So consider quiet spaces, since the children, has brains and bodies that are so in tune with their environment all the time, right? They often feel overwhelmed when they're overly busy. And so creating time to unwind, from their day, and having a quiet space to read or play or do homework allows their brain, to reset. And it gives the time to be able to just have, calm conversation, to ask the questions, to get the answers, and you both will appreciate just getting to know each other, right? All right, guys. Hope this helped. Talk to you guys soon, okay? Bye.